In the 100+ years of filmmaking and thousands of years of storytelling, there are really only 4 ways to end a story. In today's video, we're going to explain one of these endings using The Godfather.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It was an offer we couldn't refuse. And at the end of the video, we'll provide a free downloadable worksheet to help you plot out your ending. Leave the gun.
Leave the gun.
And take the cannoli.
Take the cannoli.
This is part 2 of the 4 endings in every film. The bitter ending. Traditional protagonists typically need 2 things, a want and a need.
Smile, though your heart is aching.
Wants are external goals that are known to the character, specific to them, and drive the plot forward.
How's the comedy career? You a famous stand-up yet?
Not quite. Just been working on my material.
In Joker, Arthur Fleck's want is to be a stand-up comedian.
Please help me welcome Arthur Fleck, y'all. Arthur Fleck.
One day you'll have to work for a living.
No, I won't, Ma. I'm gonna be a comedian.
And simply make people happy.
She always tells me to smile and put on a happy face. She says I was put here to spread joy and laughter.
But needs are internal goals that are often unknown to the character, universal to us all.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
And drive the character through their arc. Arthur's need is to focus on his mental health.
I stopped taking my medication. I feel a lot better now.
Before it pushes him over the edge.
How about another joke, Murray?
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
What do you get
I don't think so.
when you cross a mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash?
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get.
Call the police.
Get what you fucking deserve.
And at the end of most stories, the protagonist will attain some combination of their wants and needs. And you can map every type of ending on a quadrant like this. Sweet, achieving their wants and needs. Bittersweet, achieving their wants but not their needs. Semi-sweet, not achieving their wants but achieving their needs. And lastly, bitter, achieving neither. In the last video, we saw Marty McFly achieve both his wants and needs to achieve a very happy, sweet ending.
Everything is great.
But this time, we'll track Michael Corleone's descent into the bitter end.
And may the Lord be with you. Amen.
To pull off an exceptional ending, the work starts from the very first scene. That's why we've imported the screenplay into Studio Binder, so we can pinpoint the necessary plot and character beats that created such a satisfying ending.
That Corleone.
Now, Michael's descent follows the type of negative change arc that writer K.M. Weiland calls the corruption arc. These stories follow a character who is good, but who throws away that chance and consciously chooses darkness. Let's see how this plays out. As the Corleone family celebrate a wedding, we get a glimpse into the family and their business.
You don't even think to call me Godfather. Instead, you come into my house on the day my daughter's to be married and you ask me to do murder. Money.
Now, let's take a moment to really look at this scene and how critical it is from a writing perspective.
How'd he do that?
My father made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
What was that?
As Michael tells Kay a story about his family's business, 2 major things are established in the conversation: Michael's want and something K.M. Weiland refers to as a characteristic moment, where we introduce the character's true self. Let's watch the scene.
Luca Brazzi held a gun to his head, and my father assured him that either his brains or his signature would be on the contract. That's a true story.
The want is clearly stated by Michael on page 13, here.
That's my family, Kay. It's not me.
Which is to live a normal life and avoid his corrupt family business. As for his characteristic moment, Weiland describes this as the moment we gain an almost immediate sense of the dark nature that will lead to his doomed future. Listen again, but this time pay close attention to how Michael tells the story.
Luca Brazzi held a gun to his head, and my father assured him that either his brains or his signature would be on the contract.
Michael's indifference, while admitting his father's violence and corruption, is our first clue that he's accepting and prepared, even subconsciously, to assume that role later on. Jumping ahead, we see Michael pursuing his normal life on page 25, where he continues to choose goodness over darkness.
Now, what do you want for Christmas?
Oh, just you.
In fact, Michael is so disconnected from the family, he finds out about his father's assassination attempt from a newspaper.
Can I go with you?
No, okay. There's gonna be detectives there, people from the press. I don't want you to get involved. Sonny, Michael, I'm at the hospital. Listen, I got here late. There's nobody here. Nobody. No Tessio's men, no detectives, nobody. Papa's all alone. I won't panic.
With Don Corleone unprotected at the hospital, Michael takes charge.
You and I are gonna move my father to another room. Now, can you disconnect those tubes so we can move the bed out?
Michael's dialogue here is our next clue that he is ready to cross the threshold.